Hi everyone and welcome to the Space Show. My name is Hien. I'm the Space Show host and welcome to episode 64 in honor and celebration of Asteroid Day 2022. Our topic today, we will be discussing planetary defense beyond Earth track at the National Space Society Report 2022. For those who don't know, who are not aware about Asteroid Day, I'll give you some background information. Asteroid Day was co-founded actually by an astrophysics and famed musician, Dr. Brian May, of the rock group Queen, and was it Apollo 9 astronaut Rusty Schweickart, and a filmmaker Greg Richards, and B612 Foundation President Tunguska Remy. Asteroid Day is observed annually on every 30th of June to mark the date of the Earth's largest asteroid impact in recorded history. As many of you may remember, the Siberia Tunguska event. Asteroid Day is a global program supporting thousands of independent organized events such as this. The mission of the Asteroid Speaker is to educate the public about the risks and opportunities of asteroids through hosting events, providing educational resources, and regular communications to our global audience on multiple digital platforms such as this. So without further ado, in today's episode, we'll learn how you can protect Earth from asteroids. We know that millions of objects of various sizes orbit the sun, many of which are a threat to our delicate Earth habitat, but also a threat to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. The episode today will focus also on lessons learned from our expert speaker participation in the Planetary Defense tracks at the National Space Society conference in the late conference in Virginia in the United States. We will further share how the current planetary defense efforts aim to protect our existing home Earth and how the lessons learned can help us preserve our future home in outer space. To have a successful human presence on the Moon, Mars, and beyond, we must be prepared to protect our assets, infrastructures, and more from asteroids and other celestial hazards simultaneously. Welcome to the show, Nancy. Nancy C Wolfson is a Washington, D.C. based scholar, independent researcher, speaker, entrepreneur, and artist. She's a published author and a co-founder, president of Disrupting Space, a company based in the US. Nancy is currently the vice chair of the International Astronautical Federation Technical Committee on Near Earth's Orbit. Nancy, welcome to the episode. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. You just let me know when.
I found it very interesting that you say space belongs to all, and how if you want to share more a bit about your background,
yes,
how you ended up with this mission to raise awareness and close the gap between people and outer space concepts with your mission and the mission on the asteroid awareness.
Okay, so hi everyone. Like always, the technical stuff is very interesting with these virtual platforms. So first of all, I want to say thank you to you, Ty, and also Space Connects, which is your platform. And I'm so grateful that you guys are giving us the opportunity to talk about such an important, interesting, and fun topic, which is planetary defense and asteroids, especially today which is August 11. But usually we celebrate Asteroid Day on June 30. But today is the day, and we're celebrating Asteroid Day with you guys and your audience, and we're looking forward to tell you more about asteroids and planetary defense. So how the whole adventure started? First of all, because just like most of us, or all of us, I hope, we care about our planet Earth, especially when we are dedicated to space activities and creating space initiatives that connect the general public to our platforms, our academic platforms. So planetary defense is a topic that is sometimes overlooked, unfortunately. And I thought that this is the perfect opportunity to connect with people in something that truly depends on all of us to care for and continue moving into a comprehensive program, a comprehensive campaign in case of an asteroid impact threat. Okay, so that's to answer your question. And if you want, we can start with a presentation show, and then we can take some breaks and have some interesting, fun discussions. And I have a lot to share with you guys today because we have a unique presentation. Today, we are not only going to focus on Earth, but we are going to go just beyond that and how important is planetary defense when it comes to protecting our assets, our future settlements in outer space, especially when we are working toward becoming a multi-planetary species. So we're going to talk a little bit about the moon, Mars, what asteroid means beyond planetary defense, the various applications that an asteroid mission can have, and so on and so forth. So I'll let you up to you. If you want to show the slides, we're ready to go. Oh, and about me, you can contact me at nancyplanetaryDefense@gmail.com if you want to learn more about our initiatives, our surveys, the programs that we have, what are we doing internationally, in places like Luxembourg. I just came back from Coast Guard, Athens. We have amazing projects coming up. And definitely Asteroid Day was fantastic because I was in Luxembourg visiting all my colleagues, and we got an amazing gathering. So a lot of news for you guys. All right, we're ready.
Let's go. The floor is yours. Just hold on, just doing the screen share. Excuse me. Can you see the screen?
I can see it, but I don't see the.
Can you see the full screen now?
Yeah.
Yes.
But nothing to the screen. Yeah.
You can see the presentations? You can't?
Yeah.
I can.
You can see the presentations now?
Yeah.
All right, let's go then.
Yeah, now better.
Here we go. So I'm just going to say next when we go to the next one. I guess that makes sense. So this is me. I'm Nancy C Wolfson, and let me make a quick adjustment from the bio that Ty read earlier before. So I'm currently working with the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, where I focus on planetary defense and creating initiatives that will continue moving forward this topic in multiple fields, okay? Also, I'm part of the IAF. I am not the vice chair, I am the former vice chair of the Planetary Defense and NEO Committee. And under my term at the NEO Committee, I was able to bring to the International Astronautical Federation the first Planetary Defense NEO Symposium. So I am the founder of the Planetary Defense NEO Symposium at the IAF. So now you can join them, and it will be under E10. So if you want to get involved with them and bring your papers and abstracts, that's where you can submit them. So we go with the presentation with the National Space Society report. And we're going to be talking about Asteroid Day, how planetary defense applies to Earth and beyond, and an educational approach to planetary defense. So we're going to have a nice quick outline. And then in the future, if you wish to have more in-depth information about any of these topics, you can always contact me at nancy@planetaryDefense@gmail.com. All right, let's go to the next one, please. So I am one of the signatures for the United Nations initiative, which is Asteroid Day. As you can see, we have many experts. I'm on with many celebrities because that's how we want to raise awareness. We want to bring everybody in. We have over 125 astronauts also joining Asteroid Day every year. And we are supposed to be working all year round to continue raising awareness about Asteroid Day. And yeah, so this, as you can see in the screen, all the amazing people that we have as part of this initiative. We have Patrick Michelle, we have our astronauts, we have Bill Nye, Nate, and then some of our celebrities, and of course, many, many more. If you want to go and learn more about us, please go to asteroidday.org and you will be able to find us. We can go to the next one, please. So this is it. So Asteroid Day celebrates the Tunguska event, which happened in June 30, 1908. But let's go just a few million years before that, about 66 million years ago, and let's see what happened to the dinosaurs. As you see, we're protecting Earth from asteroids. So what you see on the screen are different pictures that could indicate that an asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs. But the experts believe that it was a large asteroid that ended the age of the dinosaurs some 66 million years ago, and the impact had more than 4 million times the energy of the Hiroshima bomb. So that's a lot, and that's enough to kill many, many lives. This event definitely changed the entire climate of the Earth for decades, okay? It also destroyed 70% of all the plants, animals in the planet. And what actually created the biggest problem, it was the dust, the dusty cloud, that it went up to the sky into the atmosphere, which reduced the incoming solar heat and light, which is needed for us to have the life as we know it in this planet. So that is what happened with the asteroids. And what is fascinating about this is that recently scholars have found in a crater some dust that was indicating the year that we believe an asteroid killed the dinosaurs. So that is an important fact that I just wanted to share with you. I see you on your screen. Any questions?
Next slide, yeah.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Sorry, guys, I'm having a little computer issue. Okay, so this is the Tunguska event. And the Tunguska event is the reason why we have Asteroid Day. Unfortunately, it is sad that we have to celebrate something that could potentially destroy cities. So as you see on your screen, I'm briefly going to share some information about it. On June 30, 1908, this was in a remote location over central Siberia in the region known as Tunguska. And a large aerial explosion occurred, releasing the equivalent of between 10 and 20 megatons of energy is believed, at an altitude of about 10 kilometers. meaning, as you see in this picture, flatten the trees and the land in that area, or all the living plants in that area. But it's believed that the asteroid itself, or the near object, a NEO, didn't touch the ground. This happened just through the release of the energy. And unfortunately, well, we still can see that area with the trees, with the flattened, and it has never been the same since then. So let's go as right now. Thank you. Yes. And we believe that the size of the asteroid that created the Tunguska event was between 328 and 600 and something feet, which is about 100 and 200 meters in diameter. So we're still debating those numbers, okay? And this one, as I said before, we're commemorating the anniversary of Tunguska, which was the asteroid impact that we just spoke about. And you can see that now it's no longer a science fiction. This is an asteroid impact threat, is a real threat, okay? Now, far from being the only asteroid impact, Earth has more than 160 large impacts on its surface. Of course, protecting planet Earth, we have the atmosphere, right? But we can go to the next one. In 1999, 97 members of the state and United Nations specialized agencies and the international intergovernmental organizations came together, and at the third UNI Space Conference, and the result of this meeting was to establish an action team 14 on near Earth objects, NEOs, within the United Nations Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space, which we know it as UN Caucus. The committee made recommendations for an international response to NEOs. And what you see on your screen right now is the official document signed by the members, by the people involved in this specific agreement. If you want to read the whole document, if you are like me and you want to go to the source, you can always find it as the information that you have there, which is the General Assembly, the date and the year. Go to the United Nations page and you will find the document. You will have about 15 to something pages to read, and the whole report is very, very interesting. But this is just a little peek, a little glimpse of what you can find. Okay, so we can go to the next one. So as I said, we created 2 different initiatives in those meetings. One of them led to the creation of the International Asteroid Warning Network, known as I1, and the Space Mission Planning Advisory Group, known as the PAGE, as well as we gave the date of an International Asteroid Day, again, to commemorate the anniversary of Tunguska asteroid impact over Siberia, Russia, on the Russian Federation on June 30, 1908. And what you see on your screen, and if you want to take a quick picture of this, it would be fantastic, because these are the objectives and the reason why we actually have those initiatives. Okay, so Asteroid Day, and I'm just going to go very quick on this one. Asteroid Day is meant to have educational events. So, and the first Asteroid Day was held on June 30, 2015. And then another one during the Asteroid Day of 2016, more than 500 asteroid-related educational events were held in 72 countries and reaching over 1 million people through the live online activities, just as this one, the one that you're participating. So thank you for joining us today. You're part of the international community now. And I won, and I'm gonna give you a quick overview. It's meant to observe the internet, to assess hazards, analyze results, communicate then to the entities that should be identified by member states and be responsible for the receipt of notifications of an impact threat in accordance to established policies. Also, I1 is to assist government in the analysis of impact consequences and planning of mitigation responses. They are not doing this alone. They are supposed to bring everybody in from multiple disciplines and internationally to create, again, a cohesive mitigation response in case of an asteroid impact threat. We can go to the next one. I can talk forever about all the different agreements and treaties and the stuff that we have, but this is just a brief overview. So what you're seeing in your screen right now, this is one of the most recent ones and the most tragic ones so far, and I'm glad that we don't have another one. But unfortunately, this didn't happen too long ago. What you see on your screen is from 2013. So, and this is called as the Windscreen Meteor. It was you can say a small asteroid or an asteroid, well, if you want to say small or big, but it was estimated about 65 feet, which is, if I'm not mistaken, about 20 meters, about the size of 6-story building. So the asteroid broke over the city of Chelyabinsk, Russia, on February 15, 2013. What you see on your screen was captured by amateur footage, which shows a bright white stripe moving rapidly across the sky. Now, what actually got people injured, as those two photos that you see here of the man and this woman, both of them getting assistance and be treated for injuries, is the shock wave. So the shock wave broke windows and knocked down parts of buildings. It caused about 1,500 people to seek medical attention for injuries, mostly from the flying glass, because everybody wanted to see what is that bright light. So everybody got close to the windows, and then the shock wave came in, unfortunately, and injured them badly. So, and this was mostly, again, from flying glass. The Tunguska event happened in a very populated part of Siberia, okay? It's not the same that the one in 1908, Tunguska, which happened in a kind of like isolated part of Siberia. In this case, actually happened where, you know, there is traffic, people walking on the streets, people doing the regular daily life. So again, back to the same thing. An asteroid impact threat is not science fiction. It is a real threat, but, thank you. But it's the one that we can actually, it's a natural disaster that we can actually predict and prevent, okay? Now, I'm gonna go quickly through this one. This is just to talk about NEOs a little bit. A NEO or a NEA is a near-Earth object or a near-Earth asteroid. To be considered a NEO or a NEA, if you see one of the pictures on your screen, it has the white dots and the green dots. The other one indicates where the planets are, but the one that has the white and the green dots will show you that we consider NEOs and NEAs the green ones, the ones that are a little closer to Earth. That probably is going to somehow get involved with our orbit. Okay, so those are considered near-Earth objects or near-Earth asteroids. And at the bottom of your screen, you can see kind of the size of one of them in comparison with some major buildings or monuments that most of us are familiar with. We can go to the next one. Thank you. And again, this is just because I love giving you factual information, but unfortunately, for the sake of the presentation, I cannot focus on each one of them in detail, but at least I can guide you through what you might be interested in. You can do your own research, or you can just join one of my presentations in the future and learn more about each specific item. This one is the most recent map published that indicates all the fireballs and all the little meteorites and collisions that we had recently. So this one was published on May of this year. So if you want to learn more about it, you can just go to ceno.gov and find the map and read about it. Okay, if you want to learn more about all the different collisions and hits that we had recently. Yes, Asteroid. All right. So in here, you can see this photo, and I am in one of those. The girl, the little girl, in between the girl and the guys. So this was Asteroid Day in Luxembourg. I love that city. And I just want to say to everybody in Luxembourg, if you are like watching us, thank you. Thank you for making thank you for being an amazing city and amazing people and so interested about space, asteroids, and planetary defense. Luxembourg City recently is getting new initiatives in regards to all these topics. So if you want to visit Luxembourg, we're giving you a lot of excuses to do so. So in one of those, you see us celebrating with our colleagues and friends and associates. Finally, after 2 years of pandemic and now seeing each other, we are able to travel and talk to each other, looking at each other's eyes. So over coffee. And at the bottom, if you see there is a woman with a camera, well, that is indicating what Asteroid Day is. So already you guys know who initiated the Asteroid Day initiative. Dr. Brian May, Rusty Chutkan, and sorry for my pronunciation, Green Richards, and Danica Remy. They are considered the founders of this initiative. Among the public days, events that we have for Asteroid Days, and the couple of days that are not private, but is most people are asked to discuss among each other what we need to do in the future. So it's two different things happening in Luxembourg. One for the experts when we get together and discuss all the future initiatives, and one we will share with the public and bring them in and get them involved. So in the public days for Asteroid Day in Luxembourg, you have events like Meet Us, which is the experts, and you just come and like join the different sessions that we have, and you get to talk to us. And then another one is to meet and greet the astronauts. Yes, and you visit a museum, a fantastic museum that they have in Luxembourg. And also you can find, if you cannot travel to Luxembourg, well, you can probably find an event in your city. So always stay connected. You can always go to asteroidday.org and find the different cities that are hosting events. So there might be one in yours. Let's go to the next one, please. So this is planetary defense, and I'm going to go very brief. What you see on your screen are the basics of planetary defense. Okay, we need to track, we need to detect, we need to monitor. We also need to implement mitigation campaigns and initiatives and steps. We talk about communication and connecting each other internationally. Also, we have the missions that are necessary. So there are various components winning planetary defense. And this chart was created by NASA. So this is just indicating all the different aspects that you can find in planetary defense. We can talk about more later as we continue with this presentation. We can go to the next one. Yes, so we are going to start with, oh, by the way, Ty, if you want to stop to take a break or something, let me know at any given point, please. And
No, keep going, Nancy. We are on time.
We are out of time?
We have many questions. Yeah. Let's. We have a couple of more minutes, like 3-4 minutes.
Okay, so let me wrap it up. Yes, fantastic. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so, and this is what the presentation is about, because we're giving also our annual report from the Planetary Defense sessions that we had at the National Space Society in 2022. Okay, it was celebrated in May, and it was fantastic because after 2 years, we were able to talk about planetary defense and talk about the new initiatives in the future. So the purpose of this conference is for space development, for the moon, the Mars, exploration, environment, deep space, innovative technology, science, and how science fiction also influence today's technology. We talk about commercialization of the space, collaboration, asteroids, and planetary defense, along with protecting from cosmic hazards, among many, many other ones. This year, we had about 1,300 attendees, even with the travel restrictions that we had still in May, so it was fantastic, from over 20 countries. And in my case, I was in charge of bringing my work and the new developments in regards to my work within planetary defense and NEOS. And this is what we're gonna be wrapping up this with. So we can go to the next one. We have 2 sessions, one with humans explore Mars, which was a track for planetary defense in relation to Mars, the moon, and beyond. And we had another session, which I bring my educational approach and how we can all benefit from it. So in this one, as you can see, we see how, oh, I see the one. Sorry, it got a little print. Okay. So in reports from Mars, from NASA, in exploration, we had a rover opportunity that found the first meteorite of any type of another on another planet when it discovered an iron nickel meteorite about the size of a basketball in Mars in 2005. And then experts found a much larger, heavier iron nickel meteorite in 2009 in the same region. So what you're seeing in your screen is basically questions about why do we need to talk about planetary defense and beyond? Because if we are really going to become a multi-planetary species, we need to see what are the benefits of living and working in space, creating scientific and technical jobs, improving our day-to-day life here in Earth, along with the new home, and enhancing, along with all of this, enhancing safety for our assets and our settlements. So, and this is what you have in your screen. As we are moving into space, also we need to make sure that we are protecting what we are building. Okay, let's go to the next one, please. And again, the asteroid belt is not just affecting our planet, but all the different planetary bodies that we have in outer space. And this is just a quick photo of all the craters from meteorites and asteroid hitting them, and that this is a reality. So, and remember, Mars doesn't have an atmosphere. Our planet does, which is protecting us, but Mars doesn't have it. So we really need to learn from what we are doing here in planet Earth in regards to protect our assets and our new settlements in outer space, including Mars. So we can go to the next one. And if you want to read more about the specifics of one of the rovers that found the nickel meteorite, please go to NASA. And NASA has the documentation of this. And this is just a little tiny paragraph that you can read on your screen. But if you want to read the whole report, so please go to NASA website and you will find the report. Okay, let's go to the next one. And we're wrapping up with this soon. So this is our missions, and I can talk about our missions forever. But today, all I'm going to do is just mention some of them and give you a quick update. So as you see, we have Poseidon Rex, okay? And the mission was launched in September 8, 2016. And it's supposed to, the spacecraft reach Bennu, which is an asteroid, in 2018, and is returning a sample to Earth in 2023. So that's a quick update. In case if you weren't informed. Then we have Hayabusa, as you see all the way at the bottom. Hayabusa is by JAXA, which is the the original Hayabusa was just a Hayabusa mission, and then we had Hayabusa 2, and this mission was successful and returned a sample to Earth on June 13, 2010. Now, we do have, Hayabusa is still flying, went up, and is flying now. So, is embarking an extended mission to study more asteroids, and the spacecraft will fly past asteroid 2001 CC21. That's just been very factual. Because asteroids are giving codes. They're not giving names at the beginning, okay? That happens after. But at the beginning, all the asteroids are giving codes in 2026. And then we have DART, and DART is going to be now in December, September, if I'm not mistaken. DART is going to be by NASA. It's going to be colliding. It's going to be hitting one of the asteroids, and we are going to be getting more news about DART between September, November, and December. So Hera is another planetary defense mission, which is going to follow DART, and it's supposed to be launched in October 2024. So, but of course, we never know if it's going to be on the date indicated, or something might need to change. All right, so just a quick thing. The DART mission is going to test the kinetic force, okay? It's a kinetic impactor test, just so you know. All right. And yeah, if you want to learn more about asteroid missions, please go to the trusted sources, and we will show those trusted sources at the end of this presentation. Now, let me tell you more about asteroids. Asteroids are not only just, thank you. Yes, asteroids are not only just missions for the sake of like going and protecting Earth and planetary defense, right? No, it has multiple applications. Studying asteroids has multiple applications because asteroids hold secrets about how our solar system was formed, okay? Because most were part of fellow planets, which began growing alongside the surviving planets of today, but were shattered by violent collisions in the early solar system, right? So that's one thing about why we need to continue learning about asteroids. Another one is, if we want to continue, and I am a strong advocate for this, I advocate to look into resources and space resources, and my focus is on asteroids. Why? Because as we learn more about asteroids and the composition of our universe, these near-Earth asteroids also are rich in mineral and other resources that could make space activity more sustainable. So, and efficient, and can actually help us to continue moving with all our space activities from space, having the opportunity to continue moving above and beyond of our current capabilities. All right, so that's another thing. And this is why I look into asteroid mining to benefit humanity and to benefit the future of space activities and for space sustainability. Remember, asteroids have, it's believed that it has water resources, which can enable a large scale exploration, into the solar system. It has metal resources for use in growing Earth economy, scientific knowledge. I mean, there is so many other things that we can benefit from asteroid missions and continue studying asteroids. Okay, we can go to the next one, and we're about to end. We're about to end this. I wanted to talk more about this, but all I'm going to tell you is a quick example how we move from science fiction to science. Okay, in here you see a huge wave because an asteroid just crashed into the water and the wave is covering the city. Now, let me tell you something. That is not going to happen, because for something like this to happen, we weren't looking and we weren't tracking. But guess what? We can go to the next one. Yes, we are looking and we are tracking, okay? Our observatories are focused on not just looking and tracking, but also creating a comprehensive population of NEOs. What is what and where they are, so we can prevent. Remember I said that the fascinating thing about planetary defense is that the only natural disaster that we can predict and prevent, thanks to our observatories and thanks that we are looking, tracking, monitoring, we're finding them. Okay, so we can go to the next one. There is much more I can say about this. Also, our citizen science. I want to say a big shout out to our citizen scientists, because they, with their own equipment, are finding asteroids. And they are connecting with the agencies and all the different initiatives that we have to get people involved in searching for NEOs. So thank you for being part of our community. And also SETI has an amazing, which I'm part of this initiative. I am the judge, and I'm also recommending different things to the International Astronomical Union for newly discovered asteroids. And one recent one, a campaign that recently happened around ANIA, which was coded 1999 AP110, and currently we're waiting to name that specific asteroid. So thank you. I love this initiative. I'm happy to be part of it, and I hope you guys can join us also in more citizen science initiatives. And this is me saying thank you, and that was my educational approach to going through the trusted sources and all the different organizations that we have for you to actually get the information from the trusted sources and avoid misinformation. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for this great presentation. We have a lot of questions for you.
It was quick. It was quick. I have to be honest. There is much more we can say, but hey, let's go to the questions.
Let's pick the
I hope I can
question. This is a question from Turkey. He's dialing in from Saudi, and he's asking where the asteroid exactly, where do they come from exactly? And can we watch the asteroid by satellites before it happens?
Sorry, can you repeat? I can hear you, but there is a background noise.
Turkey from Saudi asked, where do the asteroids exactly come from?
Oh, as I said in my presentation, they are pieces of failed planets. So, and this is why, as we research them, we learn more about the origin of space, the origin of the universe, because they actually are ancient. Yes. So that's where they come from. Right. They are like pieces.
I know you.
Yes.
I know your work aims to close the gap between people and outer space concept and its technology to map the steps towards creating better new planetary society. Are there actually any programs that are established within international cooperation? Is it a worldwide cooperation or just a restricted set of nations without being politically?
Okay, so let me understand the question. So is the question meaning if we have a comprehensive program for every single country, or if it's only a few countries involved as right now? Am I wrong?
Are there any programs? Yeah, are there any programs that are established within international cooperation?
Okay, okay. So I'm right. Okay. So if I'm correct, I'm going to answer this. Unfortunately, and I said unfortunately, there is a good and a bad. Okay. Unfortunately, as right now, we are still working on communicating with each other and getting most nations or most countries involved in planetary defense. But as right now, we cannot say that we have a fully formed, comprehensive mitigation campaign program or even an awareness program that can involve every single country, but we're working toward that. We are working toward that. As right now, we have the United Nations, and if you go back in one of the slides that I have, we have Page, I1, NASA, ESA. We are, in my case, one of my biggest objectives is translate all the information that we have in our field from the academic perspective to the different reasons why many of the countries should be involved through their space agencies. So that is just me, that is my very, very personal objective. And I think by continue traveling and continue discussing planetary defense with our different organizations that don't have a program, with the agencies that don't have a program, and asking them to please trust us into getting some sort of program on planetary defense, is making this international connection to one day in the future having most space, if it's not all, agencies from different countries, meaning internationally connected and well-informed and in constant communication in regards to asteroids and planetary defense efforts. So we're working toward that. And the people that is from my specific sector, which is communication, education, and research, we take this very, very serious. And we are constantly working to bring people in that are not in yet, and communicate and raise awareness and provide platforms for these conversations to happen with them.
Thank you, Nancy. Rocky, are there any more questions?
Yeah, I have one question, Nancy. You were talking about COPOS, and you know they have like two committees. One is the scientific and technical one, and then we have the legal one. So do you think that both committees are acting at the same time, or do you think that the technical one is going quickly than the legal one? You know, I mean, if you think that the industry side is going farther than the legal or political side?
Okay, well, fantastic question. By the way, this is a conversation that we had at the National Space Society, where most of the space law specialists and experts were trying to communicate with the technical aspects. And then from my area, which is communication and education, we're trying also to communicate with the technical experts. So it is an ongoing conversation. I can tell you that, to be completely honest. Yes, there is a little disconnect still, unfortunately, but we hope this is going to change in the future, because me and others are constantly working toward connecting with the experts in charge of the technicalities and all the technical aspects in regards to protecting Earth from asteroids. But as right now, it is an ongoing conversation, and I think we're making progress. As we continue discussing about this.
Yeah, I think that
question.
I think that in general in space matter, what we need is to know how to translate the people, the result of the science and the industry, and they need the sensibilization needs and storytelling that the people can understand, the people in the street. Sometimes we are so technical when speaking about space, and we don't realize that people don't know, like us, the scientific terms or whatever. So I think that a type of communication is needing urgently. And then I have a second question, and I finished. And I wanted to ask you if you consider that the current tools that we are thinking about for defending about the threat of asteroids are always ethical.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The tools we are considering, to face the threat of asteroids, do you think are always ethical? Do you think they are sustainable, the mechanisms to face the asteroid?
You mean the deflection techniques?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sorry, there is a little background noise. This is why. Well, let me tell you what has been the longest debate when it comes to what kind of techniques we are going to be using to deflect an asteroid. Now, some of our experts from many years, they just wanted to nuke, right? But also, and one of the biggest issues with just using some sort of weapon against it is that it is unpredictable. I mean, once those little pieces are just like everywhere, we really don't know what is going to happen. So that was not the most accepted technique among our community in the different meetings and the different conversations that we had for many years. So eventually we came to the agreement that probably we need to test a deflection that is more, I don't want to say holistic, but at least less risky perhaps, which is the kinetic. And this is why we're using the kinetic technique to deflect an asteroid. And that is your DART mission by NASA, followed by ERA, by ESA, which is the European Space Agency. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you said that you have one last one?
Yeah, for future developments, what is defense and international community focus on in terms of effective tools for asteroids monitoring?
Okay, can you repeat that? Sorry, there is a background noise. I'm sorry, but I got it. I'm listening.
For future developments, what is defense and international community focusing on in terms of effective tools for asteroids monitoring?
You mean what is the international effort for monitoring asteroids and what are we doing in that regard? Okay, got it. Thank you. Well, as I said, we are looking and we are tracking. We are constantly trying to learn more about the population of NEOs and NEAs. And we have different efforts where the space agencies are involved, such as NASA, ESA, JAXA. And we hope that in the near future, more space agencies can actually get involved in discovering, tracking, and learning more about the population. But as right now, I can tell you that we're still finding them, and we do not have we haven't found all of them. So there are still NEOs, there are still asteroids that we don't know about, and that we hope they don't they don't just like, you know, travel behind something and oops, right? But it's unlikely. It's unlikely. It's not going to happen like that. But and this is why we have our experts, our astronomers, the multiple different observatories that we have, and different initiatives that we have internationally are always looking and tracking and trying to learn more about the population of NEOs. Yes, but we haven't found them all, but we're looking. Yes.
Thank you, Nancy. You're motivated by this team to bring new and revolutionary ideas to connect interested people who have little or no involvement with the space activities. So to that end, you travel to give talks, train for university and the faculties, as well as hold meetings worldwide. What do you see missing in the current education system that should be included to help better prepare our human race for planetary defense?
Yes. Yes, thank you, and I appreciate that question. It's a fantastic question again, and I go back to the same thing that is the fascinating thing about planetary defense. It is the only natural disaster. And I want everybody to hear this. Is the only natural disaster that we can predict and prevent if we do the right thing. We don't have to go through any global disaster to continue learning about planetary defense and asteroids, okay? So we can predict and we can prevent. But for this, we need everybody. We need the international community aware and well educated on these topics. So what is happening in the education system? Well, unfortunately, our education system is still evolving. And when it comes to not just planetary defense, or when it comes to space activities or space concepts in general, I mean, there is still more to do, especially to bring, to connect the different fields, the different, the different sectors that we have in our society to space concepts. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens in terms of space technology is benefiting our planet Earth, and is benefiting our population, and is benefiting our communities, and in multiple ways. And that's a whole completely different topic that I can talk forever. I mean, we don't even need to go that far, you know, satellites, you know, thanks to satellites, we know communication as we know it. We have the communication that we have as we know it. And that's just one little tiny aspect of many things that we can say, many examples that we can give. But when it comes to the to educating people in regards to space activities and planetary defense, there is still much more to do. But I want to be completely clear that it's not necessarily the responsibility of our communities and our people to actually come to us and beg us for information. It's actually our responsibility. And I strongly believe that we, as the experts, either technical or non-technical, it is our responsibility to create platforms to communicate what we know and what we do to the larger community, the larger international community. And yes, as you said, this is why I'm extremely grateful with all my sponsors and all the people that support my work, because thanks to them, I can travel everywhere, many places. Recently, since finally flying is allowed, I've been in Luxembourg back and forth like 3 different times. I'm gonna bring you the report from the Space Resources Week by the Luxembourg Space Agency, which was fantastic. And I got actually certified. I took one of the classes, which is for professionals on space resources during the whole 5 days of conferences and meetings that we had for the Asteroid Week. That is a report coming up. Then we have another report for not just Asteroid Day, but there is multiple events happening in Luxembourg. There is another one that is going to happen not too far from now in November. Reports from Athens, Greece, which I just came back from Tunguska, where we finally discussing many concrete initiatives that can take us closer to the larger community in this regard. So yes, so thank you for the support. Thank you for believing in the work I do. And thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity to talk to your community, Ty. And thank you for the patience and the desire to coordinate with us to bring this information to your community. I'm extremely grateful, and it's an honor to be able to reach your audience.
Thank you, Nancy. We are honored to work with you. This is the second time. There's a recording we recorded last year with your colleague from NASA, right? About educational awareness. So if you head over to Space Connect's YouTube, you will see all archives episodes. Yeah, amazing. There is one more technical question from Valentina from Italy. When an asteroid enters Earth's atmosphere, Nancy, it mass tends to be consumed by ablation. Are there any laboratories or research institutions that are actively researching on this mechanism? For example, there are some simulation tools for the atmospheric entry that can simulate fragmentation, ablation, and evaporation of a rocky mass. So these are quite technical questions.
Yeah, those are technical questions, yes. The idea is fantastic, and I wouldn't doubt that there are some of our technical experts that are like definitely studying all of that. At the top of my mind, right now in my mind, I don't have one specific one, but I can tell you that that's not something obscure. Actually, that is something that our experts most likely are looking into it. And yes, well, let me tell you where you can start looking for more information in that regard. Go to ESA. ESA has an amazing resources page and a very diverse resource page for this kind of technical questions. So again, I'm always going to guide you and send you back to the trusted sources, right? So, and why am I talking about ESA instead of anyone else? Is because I have to be completely honest, it's a very diverse resources page that they have. And they are very much focused on connecting people internationally. So they are looking into ways that they can clearly communicate with the general public. But in regards to that question, I wouldn't doubt that yes, our experts are working on that. Now, do I have one specific initiative that I can mention right now? No. But I can send you where you can find it, which is ESA. And the resources page at ESA, which is the European Space Agency.
Thank you, Nancy. Rothia, you had another question?
Yeah, a final one on my side. Nancy, what is the percentage of women studying asteroids? And a second one, dealing with asteroids, with the topic of asteroids. And a second one, how will you motivate a girl which is in the school, you know, in a small village, for example, in the south of Spain, to dedicate her professional life to the study of asteroids? What will you tell to her?
Okay, fantastic. I wish we would be like one-on-one in person. This will be so much fun, girls, to have you here in a round table. In 2000, if I'm not mistaken, 2021 or 2020, something like that, I brought for the first time 3 ladies for a presentation with the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. My colleague Mariela Graciano and my colleague and a young professional Smriti Srivastava, and we noticed that, hey, wait a minute, only 3 ladies for the first time talking about planetary defense, NEOs, and all of that. So that was a very fantastic experience. But let me go back to your first question. Your first question was, what are we doing to get more women involved, correct?
Yeah, the current percentage of women, and then what will you do to motivate other women to dedicate his life to the study of asteroids?
Okay, well, as right now, I published a paper on this in 2019, with the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, that we definitely need to create more platforms for women to be involved. Now, when it comes to the percentage, I don't have it, but I can tell you that we need to get more.
Sure.
More women involved, especially in my case that I know the community, I coexist with them on the daily basis. This is my community, this is the people that I talk every single day or every other day, either via emails, phone calls, WhatsApp, Zoom, and we still need more women involved. Okay, I'm not going to give you a percentage. We do have some really awesome females involved in planetary defense and the study of asteroids, NEOs, and related topics. But we definitely need more. So, and what was your second question?
How will you motivate girls to become a woman like you, which studied asteroids and the tools to deal with, and etc.?
Well, like this. Taking a Saturday, what is it, Saturday? Sorry, there was a phone call coming in. Mom calling. It's a Saturday morning, right? Here in Washington, D.C., my home. Woke up early, and the first thought I had was, I want everybody to know about this because everybody has the right to be part of this conversation. You get dressed, put your makeup on, fix your hair, and guess what? All womanly, I'm sorry, my mother. Hey, talking about women. So today is my sister's birthday. This is why I had to call them right now. We're gonna get in a Zoom meeting to celebrate. So like this, taking your time and taking your work serious. Understanding that, again, one more time, they are not necessarily responsible for coming to us and ask to give them a voice. They have a voice. It's our responsibility to hear those voices. And how we hear those voices? By doing this, by taking your time on Saturday morning and getting to work. Okay, so if I want to motivate my ladies, my women, everywhere, I want to tell you that, hey, go out, hang out, do your thing, and the next day, any time of the day, you can always bring what you know to the larger community, the larger international community. And you don't need to be an expert. And if you want to learn more about the expert, we are always here, but you don't need to be an expert because you can always bring your questions and we're more than happy to answer them. So how I motivate girls, another way that I motivate girls to be involved is like this. I create visual tools. As an educator, I understand that education has to come from multiple sources. Okay, it's not just one way. It has to be many of them. So I create things like this that I mail, I share, I gift to people. And recently, actually, I just emailed this to one of my fans, my supporters, and she literally sent me a very beautiful note that she was crying because she had never seen anything like this in regards to planetary defense. And for me, it's just, hey, let me be creative, right? But
Very
for
nice.
many people, is they identify with this. This is something tangible that they can see, and they can see themselves in it. And they don't have to be as anything. You can.
I want one.
Me too.
Yes,
I want one.
and I have many. I actually have all the different asteroid missions too. I have like 5 different designs that I'm going to be emailing you, girls. Yeah, but like this. Another thing that I do, I always walk around with things to give, like this. You see?
Yeah.
So in my bag, very unique. So in my bag, between my lipstick and my perfume, you will find sheets with facts of asteroids, comets, educational stuff, such as the missions that we are working on and the different initiatives that are coming up. And this is what I do. I'm constantly on an educational mode. So that's how I inspire my ladies to get involved, because planetary defense is for everybody. Planetary defense is not just for the experts. It's not just for us. It's not just for the non-technical, which is communication, education, and research. It's not just for the technical, which is the missions and all the different spacecrafts and stuff like that. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if we have to defend planet Earth from asteroids, we are going to everyone to be part of this. A campaign will not just require us, it will require everyone to be informed, at least of the basics of planetary defense. And that is my mission. And this is why when I talk to the space agencies, I let them know that this is to benefit their community, their countries, their people. And all they're doing by allowing us to create platforms for educating their communities and their people on planetary defense is only going to benefit them. And that they are doing a service to the international community. And that we, the experts, should be grateful every time that we are allowed and welcome to bring this information to the larger international community in those areas where our space agencies are still evolving, and we want to help them by doing this together. Yes. I hope I answered your question.
Of course. Space needs inspirational women as you. Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And yes, you will be receiving something like this soon.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yes.
Thank you, Nancy, for this amazing presentation. People from all over the world dialed in, and I hope everyone who's watching, thank you for your attention today. I hope you hit share and reshare. This is tremendous, a lot of work by a minority sort of people who are out there. Yes. every year presenting. So to conclude, it's clear to us that the asteroid issue is one of that the international community is dealing with responsibly. As for the public, more awareness is needed through public awareness and education, such as these events. Near-Earth orbits constitute a threat to humanity in 2 different scenarios, our planet and space. That is why we must seek mechanisms that are product of international cooperation based on ethics and respecting sustainability. In any case, the solution cannot justify tools that damage our planet. The end does not justify the means. Thank you everyone for your participation. Thank you, Nancy. Keep up the great work, and we're happy to support all of your work, and we hope to have you back next year for Asteroid Date 2023. And thank you for co-hosting, Rothio.
Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you for your platform, and thank you for the work you do. And if anybody wants to contact me, we have many initiatives coming up. I've been extremely busy, and I'm going to start reporting on those initiatives, everything that just happened in 2022. Many things are coming up. So join all the different reports that will be happening in the next month or so. Also, if you want to connect with me, please find me. Send me an email at Nancy Planetary Defense at gmail.com. You can join the meetup group that I run to, which has like over 6,000 people, which is Astronomy DC area on Meetup, and you can find me there too. Also, you can go to my LinkedIn website or just Google Nancy C Wolfson, and you will find the new initiatives that I'm working on, and you will find how you can get involved and help us protect planet Earth and beyond from asteroids. So thank you for having me, and I hope to see you soon.